So this is kind of the exit ticket from yesterday, which will kind of start our lesson up today. So write an equation of a line that's parallel and perpendicular to y equals negative 3x minus 2, passing through the ordered pair 3, negative 1. So two different equations. Off you go. We can work together on it. Let's check it out. Using point-slope form. Jeremiah, what do you got for point-slope form? What? Dude, just like a cowboy thing. All right. Munti, what do you think? Munti, point-slope form? Like point-slope form. Brian, you want to help him? All right, everyone tell your neighbor point-slope form. Look at your notes from yesterday if you cannot figure it out.
Times x minus 1. Okay, pick a color highlighter. Oh my god. What? We have the same color.
All right, time is up. We're now going to go back to our original contestant, Mr. Jeremiah. Point-slope form, Jeremiah. Huh? X minus x1. Nope. We will use x and y. Danica, help out. All right. Point-slope form right there. Okay? Memorize it. Use it. So if I am given a point, and I know the slope, I know it's because the lines that are parallel have the same slope. So parallel lines. We have m is going to be 3 or negative 3, excuse me, and it's going through the point x1, y1, which we're going to call 3, negative 1. So we get y minus negative 1 equals negative 3 times x minus 3. All right, so this becomes y plus 1 is equal to negative 3x plus 9, which gives me y equals negative 3x plus 8. Now, how many got that for parallel? How many did it a different way? All right, I will tell you this is a good chunk of your test, man. You got to know how to write parallel and perpendicular. So those of you who are doing it, you are going to do fine there. Perpendicular slope is what? Lexus? Oh, question. As long as you get the right answer, you're good. Yeah. If you did a different way, that's okay.
Is it possible to do it a different way?
Yeah, it is possible to do a different way.
What is the different way?
It's a different way. I'm not going to do it. Yes. Yes, Alex, slope. 1/3. You take the reciprocal of negative 3 and change the sign. The inverse reciprocal. So the slope is 1/3. Still goes through the ordered pair x1, y1, which is 3, negative 1. Okay, so we get y, once again, plus 1, is equal to, and we still have x minus 3. Notice everything stays the same except for the slope. Slope's 1/3. Pretty neato. All right, so we get 1/3 x. What's 1/3 of 3? 1. Okay, and that is equal to y plus 1. Why did I put that in parentheses? I'm not sure. So y is equal to 1/3 x minus 1 on both sides. We get minus 2. How many got that one? Well done. Questions? Yes, Brendan. The 1/3 is if it's perpendicular, it's you take the original slope, flip it, and change the sign. The inverse reciprocal. So we're going to take this 1/3, flip it over, which becomes, or that negative 3, excuse me, flip it over, which becomes negative 1/3, and then you change the sign to positive. Okay? Alrighty. Hey guys, the thing about math and chapters of math is like, pieces start becoming easier. You're like, oh yeah, that's easy, 3-5, no problem. And then when you're doing 3-4, you're like, oh, I got it now. And then you did 3-3, and you're like, oh yeah, 3.3 was easy. And 3.2, oh, it's fine. But the problem is when you put all those things together on a test, the easy things become more complex because you got more to remember. So that's why you want to take good notes, and when we do our practice tests and reviews, you're really paying attention to those and studying up for those tests, because when you put a lot of new things all together on one paper, it becomes a lot more difficult than just when you have one or two new things on the paper. Okay? Any questions? I know. That's what I was going to say. Let's go back to this page. This was your assignment from yesterday. Yesterday we sped through the very end of this, and some people loved it, some people not so much. I want to do number 2 together, make sure we know how to do it. Okay? Tell your neighbor what you got for number 2 on your...
I got 3, 6,
This was your student's journal.
and then 3, 10 again. I think I'm wrong because I did not...
All right. How many got it? They got an answer. They're like, I'm not sure if it's right, but I got it. Okay? Hey, let me make sure that we're clear. When we're dealing with these directed segments, you are taking and saying, look, we're going to a 2 to 3 ratio, which means there are 5 parts to it. Okay? And really what you're doing is you're plotting those points, and if I connected the dots, so here's A and here's B for that problem, I were to connect the dots, and I started doing rise and run on this, say, okay, I actually rise this much, and I run this much. Okay, my slope in this case is 1, 2, 3. Go down 3 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so down 3 and over 5. My slope is that. How many made it that far? Okay, now what they're saying is you want a 2 to 3 ratio. So A would be the 2, and to B would be the 3. So wherever we're putting point P on here, wherever it goes onto this line, A is going from A to P is going to be a shorter distance than from B or from P to B. We get that? Because it says a 2 to 3 ratio. If it said 3 to 2, then from A to P would be longer. All right, so we're going a 2 to 3 ratio. All right, tell your neighbor what you did to take that into account real quick. Okay, let's go ahead and wrap it up. So if there are 5 parts, if you're going from A to B, if that's the direction you're going to be moving, you're going 2/5 of the way, right? You're going 2 out of those 5 parts. Okay, so I'm going to say I'm going to move from A to B. I'm saying I'm moving from A to B, so I'm going to go 2/5 of the way. Rather than going down 3, rather than going down 3, I am going to go down 2/5 of 3. And 2/5 of 3 actually gives me -6/5. All right? Yeah. -6/5. If you don't like that, we'll change it to a decimal. That would be a decimal of -1.2. So let's do that. Okay. And then I am also going to go 2/5 of 5. Well, that's a little easier. That is just 2. So rather than going from point A, rather than going down 3 and over 5, I am actually going to go down 1.2 and over 2. That's where I'm going to put point P. So if I take that on this here, and I go down 1.2 and over 2, it's good that I actually hit the line. If you don't hit the line, then you did something wrong. And that's where point P goes. Okay? Please note that this is not the coordinates of point P. That's how far you travel from A to get to P. So this length right here, I'll answer your questions here in a minute. Okay, this length is 2 parts versus this length being 3 parts of the overall. Yeah. Okay. How come am I only using the 2? Right, because I'm moving from point A to P, or from point A to B. If I was going to move from B to A, I would use the 3. And I could actually say, okay, from B to A, I'm actually going up and over. Right? So I could say, well, I'm going up and over, and then I'd have to multiply everything by 3/5 from there, from point B. Okay? But so it's either way would give you the same answer. Okay? So we're asked what are the coordinates of that. And so from here, I have negative 1.2 and 2. That means from my point A, I am rising negative 1.2, which means I am going down from 3. Right? And that's what we did in our picture. We went down from 3, 1.2. So if I'm at 3, the order pair 3, 1, and I drop down 1.2, that's going to bring me to point P, which is 3 minus 1.2, or oops, you know what I did? I did this yesterday. Hold on. What did I do wrong? And I'm not doing that on purpose. Sometimes I make mistakes on purpose. See if you'll catch them. I keep making the same mistake. What did I do wrong right there? When I was rising 1.2. Yeah. I put it on the wrong axis. I put it on X. Right? This is my X. This is my Y. It's got to happen over here. All right? So we're going to fall 1.2. Which brings me to uh-oh. What's 1 minus 1? 0. And then 0 minus 0.2? Negative 0.2. Okay? Drew, is that what you're saying? You're the only one. So it wasn't that I was ignoring you. It's just that I was ignoring you. Oh, Bobby, you were saying it too? No? Okay. 3. 3, we drop down. Or we go over 2. Okay? Now on that, we drop down 1.2. Are we adding the 2 or subtracting 2? You're adding, right? Okay? You're adding the 2, so that gives me 5. Now, how many actually got it right? That's where point P is. Good job. All right, how many understand it a little better?
Nope.
Okay. Maddie, you never understand anything. When you say no every time, and then you do understand,
No,
and then when you
I'm
don't,
actually
I
being
don't.
serious. I have no clue what just happened.
Okay. So I'll go through questions with you, but do you understand the danger of what you do there?
No.
All right. Maybe one of you guys can explain it to me.
Don't understand at all.
Okay. Here's what I want you guys to do. I want you to compare the rest of your answers for page 89.
You can tell, like, I get what you do, and you do the 3 times the fraction and then the 5 times the fraction slope, and I get how you get those answers, and then I'm lost there.
Okay, so you understood how I got
Yeah, I
this and
understood how
this.
you got there.
Okay, so it's easier if you look at your picture. So from your picture, you're dropping down 1.2 units.
But how do you know that you're dropping down 1.2 instead of
Because
going
it's
sideways?
because it says minus 1.2.
But what if it said nothing?
Then it's positive. Then you're adding. So think of which way you're moving. It's like if it says minus, it's a negative distance. It's going downward.
But what if it's like a positive number? How do you know if you're going this way or this way? Vertical or horizontal?
Well, if you go vertically, that's positive. If you go vertically downward, it's negative. If you go to the right, so just think of your axes. Right on the x-axis is positive. Left on the x-axis is negative.
Yeah, but how do you know which one to use for x and which one to use for y?
Because slope is y over x.
Oh, right.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm handing it out. I want you to take a look at page 90, complete problems 5 and 6, please. 5 and 6 on page 90. All right, equation of a line using point slope form. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Yes, Sophia? Yeah, what'd you get? Yeah, for the next line here.
Y plus 2 equals 2/3 parentheses x minus 2.
All right. Good job. Yeah, this negative 2 is going to make that become a plus 2. We put minus negative 2 in. And then we have 3 here. So x minus 3. All right? And so we get this guy here that simplifies to y equals 2/3 x minus 2 plus 2, which is 2/3 x. Is that what you guys got?
Yes. No. Wait.
Come on, is that what you got?
No.
No, do some error analysis. What's wrong?
You just add 2 instead of
Carson, what'd you get?
2.
2/3 times, well, yeah, I did. I got 2/3 times -3 is -2. Yeah? Very good. You got to subtract that 2 over, right? So this should be -4. So making sure that you can do error analysis, right? Taking a look at it. All right, I've got the graph here. I'm going to actually put the graphs up. I've graphed them on a different page already, but there we got it. Okay? Parallel lines. If you graphed them, they intersected, then we'd have problems. They look like they're going to intersect. Okay, I'm going to put up the answer for the last one. You can check it out. That is what you should have. Okay, let me know if you have questions.